I brought the devil into my home. If anyone does not provide for his relatives and especially those members of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 8. Remember this verse before you listen to my story. My name is Mrs. Diana Yebgar. But darling, is it really necessary to have a house help? My husband said to me. It was one morning I was cleaning the dishes after breakfast with my husband sitting on his chair, scanning his newspaper. I had just reminded him of the need for me to have a house help to assist me with the household chores. I was a marketing officer at a bank and was overwhelmed with work and at home. I couldn't just go on. But little did I know that this decision would change our lives forever. But darling, I said to my husband, having a house help would really relieve me. I could take care of the most important things and then I would finally have some time for myself. Please think about it. After thinking a few days, he accepted the idea and asked me to choose one. So I thought about the selection criteria. First of all, she had to be of good character, then diligent, and finally respectful. Yes, I exclaimed, Miss Mira. She was a young girl who used to deliver sandwiches to the office that she made herself. She had explained to us that this was her only means of income and that she was the eldest of her family. The next day at the office, I proposed it to her and I was surprised that she accepted without even thinking about it or asking about the hiring arrangement. However, I told myself that this was normal given her financial need. I introduced her to my husband and my two children. Joe, the youngest, was very happy to have a new auntie at home to play with, while Charles, his older brother, didn't mind as he was too busy on his phone as usual. The next few weeks was pretty good. Miss Mira was doing a great job at home. Finally, I had enough time to work because I was only doing the cooking. She also got on very well with the boys. I even noticed that she got Charles to drop his phone and spend some time with each other. The only thing that puzzled me a little was the excuses Mira always had during our prayer time. My husband reassured me that she must be of a different religion and that we had to respect that. But without knowing how or even why, things had changed at home. My children were always quarreling and I could never calm them down except Mira does. My husband was also always defensive with me. He would lose his temper over nothing. The harmony of our family had gone out the window. I tried to understand my nothingness, as Sunday outings to church had become something of a chore for everyone. I had to make things right. So I decided to pray, but I couldn't get anything done, nor even 3 minutes of prayer. My colleague noticed my change of mood and came to ask about the situation, after which she advised me to seek the help of the pastor and that she herself would accompany me if necessary. So we went to church and my colleague explained things to the pastor. I was just at the end of the tether when I had to tell him what was going on at home. Once again, he looked at me and said, "My daughter, you must be strong, not just for yourself but for your family. From what I have just heard, it is clear that the evil is coming from somewhere else, but I can't really tell you exactly where. We would just have to pray fervently." I was frightened for a moment, but my colleague quickly reassured me that she would also assist me in prayer. The pastor made us understand that he had received some revelations from God. An evil force was the cause of all this disorder, and it was very close to me, even in my own house. I began to think, and the only person I could think of was Mira. However, I did not want to believe it. I decided to observe her and especially to carry out some research on her. To my greatest surprise, I couldn't find anything, not even a trace of her so-called family. I became afraid and told my colleague, so we decided to set a trap. We made her come to a place that my colleague had chosen and where the pastor was waiting for us. Once there, we began to pray and she became very agitated. I felt a force in the room and then she started screaming. Her eyes became blue and she begged us to stop. The pastor asked her to expose her plan. What she said was like a nightmare. She had confessed that she was a spirit from the marine kingdom. She had been sent on a mission on earth to destroy Christians, and her main target was families. I was chilled when she went on to say that if we have mercy on her, she would go away releasing the soul she had already won. The pastor continued the prayer, and I don't know how, but she was not seen again. I hurried home after thanking the pastor and my colleague. When I had got home, my husband and children had already fallen asleep, so I did the same. The next morning, I was surprised to notice that my husband had made the effort to prepare breakfast. I joined them at the table, happy to see my two sons were getting along again. "Honey," my husband said to me, "I am aware of the heavy workload you have as a working mother, so I have decided to make myself available to assist you. Frankly, I don't want a house help anymore, so we can do without one. The children and I have talked about it already, and we find it much better." I can't describe the joy I felt at that moment. I was so grateful for what God had done in my life. It took me a while to fully believe it. I took a deep breath, and before saying anything, "My darlings, don't worry anymore, because Miss Mira is gone forever, and from now on, we will take care of each other, and God will give us strength. I love you all. All glory to God who watches over us eternally."